assist order to facial recognition company Clearview AI. Now, Google, YouTube, and Twitter also reached out to this company, which has come under fire for using its technology on billions of people available public photos. Police departments across North America have utilized Clearview AI to identify people and actually solve crimes. Joining us right now is technology analyst and CoinDesk executive editor Pete Paschal. Pete, it's great to see you. Thanks for being here today.
Good morning.
So, did that company own those pictures, or are those just pictures that were out there on, wherever, Google, out there on the internet that they use? I mean, is it legal to just use any pictures that you want in your facial recognition infrastructure?
Well, it seems pretty clear it's the latter. They're just out there and they're doing what's called scraping, which is basically they're doing just like Google search writ large, right? And they're finding all these images all over the place and taking them and just duplicating them and putting them in their database. Now, is it legal? Well, that's a very, very good question, and it probably varies by what country you're in and where you're playing and what you're doing with them. But generally, it probably is. I mean, if you think about it, Google already does this to a certain extent when you do a Google image search. So when you do that Google image search, it comes up on that page, and that page is hosted by Google. And so at the very least, it's in some kind of image cache on Google. So the technical what you're doing versus what's legal is very, very gray in this area.
Well, I guess I'm wondering, is it really that gray? If we're talking about the United States, this is public information. Assuming they're not breaking into any websites, I don't understand why it's a gray area. Isn't this legal to take public information?
Well, wait a second. One situation that I know about is the company got its hands on all of these images because at one point it was a photo album company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've pivoted business model.
How do you feel about that? This company used to do photo. In other words, you're at home, you take all your pictures of your family and your friends, you want to put them in nice photo albums. This company owned the photo album company, and that's how it gave them all these images. Is that legal to use those images in the public square?
You've nailed exactly why I actually love this story. And it's not because I think what they're doing is good. It's because it's really putting a microscope on, the things that we do every day, uploading our images, sharing them out, and sort of thinking, what's the harm? This is a very great convenience. What could happen here? And this is what could happen here. This is that idea sort of writ large. It's similar to Cambridge Analytica in that sense. Taking quizzes on Facebook, sharing your political views. What could happen? Well, this is what happens. People mine that data. There is an entire industries that have emerged in the last couple of decades that are all about getting data, including images, and it is extremely valuable to these companies. And we're suddenly aware that our imagery and our data are valuable, and we should start doing something about it.
Maria's raising the issue that is this in the user agreement, that people sign these user agreements with these companies and they're using these online photo albums, and they've given this company permission to sell their photos. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, this company that I'm referring to, that was a photo company, it was supposed to do a major deal, a major merger with another larger company. And the larger company started doing the due diligence, finding out where did you get these pictures. Then it was clear that the pictures came from people's photo albums. Mm-hmm. So they dropped the deal.
Yeah, well, this is there's a difference between is it in violation of the terms of service and is it legal? So I think you're dead on. This is totally in violation of the terms of service of Google, Facebook, and all these platforms, which is why they're sending out these cease and desist letters. But that is a different thing from being legal and illegal. And also, is that even enforceable? You have these images out there. There could be any number of companies that are scraping the web right now for these images and our data, and we don't really know about it.
This is Apple's selling point, that Apple protects your privacy. Yeah. If you have photos on Apple's cloud, it is their duty to you as a customer to protect them. Am I wrong?
I appreciate
the customer. I don't think if this was intended as a public photo album that someone wanted to publish, I don't think they have much of an argument. If these were supposed to be controlled private photo collections, then it seems like the customer might have more of an argument.
Yeah, I think this is also interesting. We've seen this on college campuses at Campus Forum. We've covered how kind of people buy into technology. They don't really know how it's going to be used, and they end up not liking how their data is used. There's an app right now. Well, there's an app right now where more and more universities are using it, Spotter EDU, where students give their location. Their professors can track their location on campus to make sure they're in class for attendance purposes. Now people finding out that some of that data is being used beyond the classroom. People are more concerned now, saying, wait a second, I didn't give my location for that. This sounds like a similar situation where people are having their data used beyond what they originally agreed to.
Exactly.
And this is happening on a near daily basis, not just with images, but with all kinds of information that we're putting out there. And Apple, I'm really glad you brought up Apple. They've made a great case of using this now privacy-aware public. Hey, we're private. We're going to protect you, and our business model doesn't depend on data. That's nice, but think about it. You're basically saying, like, well, don't trust those guys. Trust us. And, well, why should we trust you exactly? Sure, we make great products.
Well, that's why they fight Bill Barr and the federal government about unlocking phones, because, again, that goes to their core promise, which started with Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And it's really a matter of like...
I like that. I mean, I think what they've done is important.
I think it's a good message, but you have to start questioning, like, why should we trust them, or why should we trust any company? What we need is an emerging set of technologies and perhaps even a little bit of regulation. I know no one wants to regulation. I'm not a fan of regulation, but it needs to be kind of part of this conversation.
You need boundaries.
Yeah, so because we do want law enforcement agencies to be able to do this kind of thing. I mean, the Clearview AI has a point. A lot of these cops have been able to track down child molesters thanks to their technology. So we want that. We just don't want the creepy surveillance state that has somehow emerged out of all this.
Pete, it's great to get your insights on this. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Pete Paschal joining us there. We'll take a break. When we come back, losing your appetite. How much are you really spending with those food deliveries?